Okay, once again, a reminder to please turn off all your cell phones and electronic devices. Again, please wait for me to call on you. We have microphones in the room, and we will bring the microphones to you. Coach, players, thank you guys for coming in here tonight. Coach, can we ask you to make a quick opening statement before we take questions?
Yeah, hats off to West Virginia. I mean, they did what they had to. They made shots. The 1-3-1 bothered us. We tried different things, and it bothered us more than I thought it would. And they made plays. I mean, they ran their offense and got some layups at critical times, just layups. And we're a team that doesn't give up many layups, and we gave a bunch up today. But I'm proud of my team. They fought. They just kept trying. I'm proud of what they've done all season, a bunch of young kids, and it just came together. And, we've had shooting days like this, but we won anyway because maybe the teams weren't quite as good as West Virginia. But today, that team was too good for us to shoot like we did and from the free throw line and still win the game.
Thank you, Coach. We'll take questions for the student athletes first. Again, if you could please direct your questions to a specific student athlete. Anybody would like to begin? Right here on the aisle, please.
John, talk about going against that 1-3-1 and why was it so tough?
It was pretty tough. They was a long athletic team, so they did a great job of denying us from getting to the wings. And like Coach said, we wasn't making enough shots, and I think we would have made shots, would have spread out. But you give hats off for them because they did a great job. Their defense did a great job on us, and we just didn't knock down shots today.
We have a question in the front row here, please.
John Worrell with the Associated Press. John, could you ever imagine, this run ending, without making it to the Final Four? And does this, there's all the talk's going to start about what you're going to be doing next year?
No, I didn't. I didn't want to stop it. I wanted us, make it all the way. But, like Coach said, it was just one of those days that, we wasn't making shots. And usually we win these type of games. But, they're a great team, so we couldn't fight our way through it and win, I'm not worried about the talk what I'm doing next. I'm just, sad and disappointed that we didn't make it far and the goals that we reached as a team. And I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the rest of my college career, my teammates, and finish the school year out.
Right here.
Greg Logan for Newsday. DeMarcus, it looked like you were a little frustrated with the officiating tonight. What did you think of the way the game was being called?
West Virginia played a great game tonight. They outplayed us tonight. I mean, it was some loose balls that we should have got. I mean, we were bad on defense tonight, and they outplayed us, and we lost.
In the back here.
Yeah, Bob Herzl. John and Patrick, would you guys talk a little bit about what Missoula did to you guys tonight, especially defensively at the bottom of that 1-3-1?
No, it was pretty tough. He was holding on pretty tough on to DeMarcus. So, we tried a lot of the ball to him. We couldn't get it to him. We don't know what he was doing down there, but, we tried to find angles of the way to get it to him. And like Coach said, we would have made shots. It would have spread it out and it'd been an easier job for us to find DeMarcus and Patrick in the post. But they did a great job, and they 1-3-1, and we just didn't knock down shots.
Pretty much like John said. Missoula was down there. He was physical. He was tough. Just doing whatever he could do, as a defensive player to stop us from scoring down low, and he was successful with that. And, they just played great team defense, him down low, and, the 1-3-1 bothered us. And, they just had a great defensive effort, and they just played harder, and they just outworked us and beat us pretty much.
Over here.
John, offensively, Missoula, was that a bit of a surprise, his aggression and the output?
No, it wasn't. He did a great job of pushing it in transition. Instead of us stopping the ball like we've been doing all year, and like Coach taught us, we was running back to, the person that was running to the three-point line. And he's not a bad player, so he's going to take it right to the basket. And he got key layups down the stretch. Like Coach said, they scored key layups down the stretch when we was making our little run, and we just couldn't get certain shots that we usually get.
Any other questions? All right, right over here in front.
For Patrick, if somebody had told you that you'd hold them without a 2-point field goal for 21 minutes, what would you have thought the outcome would be?
Obviously you win. They was able to knock down shots from the perimeter. Getting to the free throw line, just doing whatever they could to stay in the game and contain the lead. And although they weren't hitting 2-point field goals for a certain amount of time, they was hitting 3-point field goals, so they still found a way to score. But like I said, if anyone had told me that, I figured the team would have won.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Guys, we'll let you go. Thank you very much for taking the time to come in.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach? Right here.
When they're playing the 1-3-1 like that, is the preferred way to attack it is to take the three-point shots, or are you still trying to go to DeMarcus?
Well, we were trying to go inside, but, when you're missing, it gets a little demoralizing when you miss the shots that we missed. And we had worked prior to even Cornell, because Cornell played the 1-3-1. They just weren't quite as big. And we ran a little offense, and we could not get into it today, so I just shifted and said, let's go 4 out and put DeMarcus inside, and we'll go around him for a little bit, and we played a little bit better. But what hurt us when we made our run and started playing a little bit better was that we gave layups up in their little shuffle cuts. We kept coming to each time out and say, we got to go under. We were chasing guys, and they got those layups, and Bobby just had those guys grind it, and they were getting layups. But we didn't play particularly well. I didn't have them as organized as they needed to be, but you have to give them credit. The last 5 games, they had shot 25% from the three. When we walked in at halftime, I said, they don't have a basket, guys. We got to guard Jones, and we got to guard Butler to the three-point line. You must. We came out, and Jones hits a 3 right off the start. I mean, it was like, what? We just left halftime. But here's what I'll tell you. For us to continue to play and give ourselves a chance to win, I was proud of them. Because the way we played, the way they played compared to the way we played, it should have been 20. And I'm looking at it like, man, if we can get 1 or 2 stops and maybe hit a basket, we can make this interesting. We just couldn't get quite there.
John Clay, Herald Leader, Lexington. You talked about youth and of this team. Do you think it caught up to you a little bit today?
Yeah, I don't want to have excuses. They outplayed us, but I think there were times that the inexperience, hurt us. And understanding, you're not going to catch it all at once, or knowing that this is the guy you got to stop, and we kind of lose him. There were things that happened, and I think their veteran, especially Missoula. I mean, he got some layups that just were, oh man, backbreaking. I mean, he just played so well and ran their team. But it hurt us. But let me tell you, it also got us to where we are today with 35 wins. I mean, that same youth. So, just again, I don't think we had a 3 until there was 3 minutes left in the game. We were 0 for every one. And then we were missing free throws, and I'm like, oh my goodness. But we again kept fighting and tried. And we've had some shooting games like this, but they were one game we lost. And the others, we kind of hung in there and then won them at the end. Well, against a team like West Virginia, they're too good. I mean, I thought this could have been the final game, us against them. Really. They're that good. And you're just not going to go and play the way we played and miss free throws and shoot and win. And then, but you have to understand, 32 threes, a bunch of those were at the end when we're just trying to catch them back up. And we were going to shoot threes down 9, obviously. But I bet you we were 1 for 20-something, 21, or 0 for whatever. 0 for 20? Yeah, we were 0 for 20. And usually we shoot about anywhere from 16 to 20, 21 threes a game, something like that. At the end, you're down. You're just jacking balls up trying to get back in it.
Over here on the side.
John, can you just talk a little bit about how you feel for Bob? I know you guys are good friends, and just where he's got in this group.
Well, no, I'm happy for him, and what he's done to get that team and to play how they have to play to win. One of the things as I'm walking off the floor, I said maybe we should have made it a rat game, but I don't think because of the score and time, they just kind of held on. And that's why the score got close. I'm not sure they would have played that way if it was early in the game. I think they would have tried to make easy baskets. But he has them playing exactly how they have to play to win. And for those guys to make 43% of they only shot 38 from the floor, which is what we hold people to, but they shot 43 from the three. And that's what got us. I mean, when, they shot, and they made their free throws at the end, too. I got to give them credit for that.
Anything else for Coach? Coach, thank you for taking the time to come in.